Let's continue with lines and polylines. The difference between a line or a line segment and a polyline is basically that the line segment is a line that has not been joined. So a polyline is a joined line segment, so it contains two or more segments. So let's go and draw a line segment. So here we can right click on the line icon, and then we can just do freestyle geometry, and we can see that these lines are individually connected. So if we go to the property objects, we can read that we have 5 open curves. But if we left click on the line icon and we try to do the same, we can read in the object property that is an open curve. It's not combined. It's made out of 5 segments, but they are all joined. So there are different ways how to connect lines or explode. So for example, if we want to explode this into different segments, we can just go to the explode icon. And now we can see in the object property that we have 5 open curves. In the same way, we can use this other icon on the left side that is like a puzzle-like button. We click and we can join the lines into a continuous polycurve or an open curve. There are different ways how to check if our curves or polylines are open and closed, so you can just select them, and the easiest way is just to go to the property panel and read this is an open curve. So you can just by selecting the curve and then show object control points, we can make use of this property so to move the end point to the start point of the polyline. By doing this, we first need to check that we have the OSNAP activated by the endpoints. So it's gonna be just much easier to do the connection. And now if we select it again, we see that it's a closed curve. Let's go now and explore the different possibilities that Rhino offers us for 2D shape. Rhino offers us different ready-made 2D shape, like for example rectangle. So let's go and draw a rectangle. This can be made in many different ways, so we can just randomly pick up a point and just drag and create a freestyle rectangle. We can also create a rectangle from the center. Just click on center or just type C. This is pretty cool because we can create a rectangle from the middle point. You can also create a rectangle with rounded corners. So let's go and create a rectangle. And the last step, it's asking us for a radius or a point for rounded corner. So we can just give random radius, or we can just give something with precise value. We can also create some polygons in Rhino, so we can, in the same way, just create a polygon. By pressing Shift, we will limit the rotation by the creation. So there is something important to point out in the creation of a polygon. For example, you can change the mode. So right now the one that we did is inscribed, but we can use the circumscribed way of doing the geometry. So now if we press Shift, the geometry will have this rotated position. There are many other different possibilities of doing 2D geometry, like for example creating arcs. You can just click randomly in the viewport, and then by using Shift we will always have this straight position, and we can give a specific angle. So we also can create arc by many different ways. So for example, with the start and end point, we give our first point and then the end of an arc, and we can also define the tangent by a third point. Let's have a look into freeform curves. Freeform curves can be found under Curve, Freeform. Here you can see that there are different ways how to create freeform curves by control point, interpolate points, handle curve, and sketch. By the handle curve, for example, this is pretty similar to what Adobe Illustrator offers you. So you can just go point by point, and by extending the radius you can create this curvature. So check out with the OSNAP endpoint. So if you wanna close your geometry nicely. Now if we go into interpolate, let's have a look into freeform and interpolate points. This is a different way how to create a curve where your geometry needs to pass through specific points. So again, check the endpoint OSNAP and you can close it around. There is another type of freeform. This is also interesting, not so useful because it's very imprecise, but basically you can create like a hand drawing line. Basically if we select it, we can see that the control points are overlapping and intersecting, so it's pretty complex, but it have some statistical output, so it might work for some specific tasks. And finally, let's use the freeform control points. Here you can see that the control points are outside of the curve, and this is pretty handy if you wanna modify your geometry lately. So you can just grab one of these edit points and modify your geometry, having a very smooth curvature.